So we have been coaching 3 guys in a group session, and there are a diversity of age ranges, and they all 3 had one common issue.
Yep.
Procrastination. And here's the truth. Everyone struggles with procrastination in
all do.
some way.
Yep.
I mean, if you don't want to do something, you're not going to jump up to do it.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just a fact. You're going to put it on the back burner.
And there's a lot of reasons people don't, they procrastinate.
Right.
It could be internal, external. There's all kinds of reasons we do it, but we all do it.
Yeah, and I agree with you there. Procrastination is something that we can oversimplify and end up misunderstanding. And sometimes we'll classify too many things as procrastination.
Yeah.
And we'll get into that more in the show. But we're going to focus on this theme, procrastination, this month. It's something that we've seen a need for. Everyone's got a need for it.
Yeah.
And we want to give you guys some tools to address procrastination in your life. We're starting that today on the show.
This is the Thriving Man Podcast with David and Reese Maxwell. These weekly shows are designed to help you remove the confusion from your life and make real progress with your growth. No matter where you are or where you're going, we're here to help you live a life you can be proud of. So welcome to the Thriving Man Podcast.
Welcome to the Thriving Man Podcast, where our goal is to help you get out of survival mode and into living a life you can be proud of. I'm Reese.
And I'm David.
He's my dad, and we work together to coach men, and we're addressing a special topic today.
Yep.
Procrastination.
Yep. It is one that we all struggle with.
It's something that everybody deals with, whether you're a guy or not. You know, that's a human condition issue.
Yeah.
What are some areas that you procrastinate in?
I hate paperwork. I don't think I could ever work for the federal government because everything is paperwork. And I hate going to those offices and do you have your form 37-A1? And I'll be like, I don't even know what a
Does
form
that exist?
You've got to have that form. Everybody should know that. And you're like, I don't live in your world.
Yeah, for real.
And so the paperwork, or you bring everything except that one thing you need. So you have to get another appointment and go back. That kind of stuff drives me crazy. I hate paperwork stuff like that.
They're penetrating the bureaucracy.
It is just like that.
Yeah, 100%. I hate budgeting. I think part of it stresses me out because I see all the money that you start with.
Yeah.
And then I see that by the time you responsibly dispense your money to the correct places, how little is left over.
It's true.
And there's the creeping fear of like, if anything breaks right now.
Yeah.
I'm in the red. I'm in the red.
Yeah.
And so I just don't like the process.
No.
And I'm not a huge detail person. That also plays into it. But budgeting's like, I should do that.
Yeah.
The next month. I should jump on that.
Yeah, you get that natural. I'm the same way. Your mom took care of all the budgeting, and when I had to take it over, let's just say that some programs are good. Like I use Rocket Money now, and that really helps to keep everything up for me. I love online bill pay. So many bills wouldn't get paid if I didn't have that.
100%.
So, yeah, stuff like that is good, but it's not something I enjoy. I could have never been an accountant.
Yeah. Or here's another one. I could never be like a true salesman.
Yeah.
Like just selling some random product I don't know much about.
Yeah.
Because the pursuit of reaching out to somebody who doesn't respond.
Yeah.
And just hounding them down until they give you some kind of an answer is not my favorite experience.
Yeah, we have a furniture store nearby that when you go in, the salespeople there are kind of like used car salesmen. And it's a great store, but when you walk in, you just see all these people move. It's like sharks in the water, and you're just like, oh no! And
you don't want to be that guy.
Yeah, no,
I don't want to be
that guy. Who? What do I got to do to get you on this sofa today? You know, I just don't want to be that guy.
No, so I'll procrastinate on stuff like that.
Yeah.
But today we're looking at procrastination and how it affects us. We're looking at the reality of procrastination because it may not be exactly what you think it is. So let's start with defining procrastination.
Yeah.
Procrastination is the act of delaying or postponing tasks or actions to a harmful degree. That's when it becomes procrastination.
It is. And a lot of people think that procrastination, they simplify it to where, oh, it's just laziness. Oh, you're just being lazy. When the reality is a lot of times the procrastination can be a symptom of something that's really going on. And I think when we simplify procrastination, say, oh, I'm just lazy, we're not going to get to the root of what's going on with it.
Yeah.
Something's going on the inside sometimes, not every time. Sometimes you just don't want to do it. And that's normal. But sometimes there's some real things going on inside of you that the procrastination can show you.
Yeah, no, it's true. And it can just be an unhelpful definition.
Yeah.
Because like there are some times where you just got to suck it up and do it.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of times, like you said, where there's more at play. It could be maybe you have a big fear of failure, like, oh, I may mess it up. And so you don't want to start working on those gutters or working on whatever it may be around the house because you're scared you're going to screw it up.
Yeah.
Well, then it's not just you being lazy.
Yeah.
There's a little bit of that going into it.
Yeah. There's a little bit of, I don't want to try something new. I'll have to go back to the hardware store again and all that. Not that I think that way. But yeah, it's like that for me. You get everything for your project, you start it, and then you realize, oh, I need this. So you got to go back. And that's real frustrating.
Yeah. I mean, a lack of motivation, like maybe you're just not feeling motivated to do it because of what the task is.
Yeah. Well,
that
like
can
your
also
bills.
play into it. Yeah.
Doing the bills, doing the budget, stuff like that.
Yes.
And I know for me, sometimes I've struggled with perfectionism.
Yep.
If I can't do it perfect or do it just right. When I started the business, it's one of those, a lot of people never start a business because they want to do it perfect. And one of the biggest thing business coaches tell you is just start.
Yep.
It's the only way to learn.
It's true.
But sometimes you get in this, well, I want to do it perfect before I start.
And sometimes it may even just be you don't manage your time very well, or you severely underestimate how much time something's going to take.
Yeah, yeah.
Because we'll use the example of house repair. I had a toilet that I had to fix up. I thought it was going to be an hour, go to the store, buy the kit, go back, put it in. It was the whole day. Yeah. And that's always how it turns out. So like you think to yourself, oh, I got time to take care of that.
Yeah.
And it may not be fixing something around the house. It could be anything.
Yeah.
And then you realize, oh, there's a lot more than I expected in here.
Yep. Yeah.
And so that can play into it too. Maybe
Yeah.
it's not you're a lazy bum. Maybe it's you just underestimated something.
Yeah. Yeah. You think, oh, this will take this long, but it can double or triple in time.
Yeah. And we're going to cover some of these things in depth in our next session, our next podcast episode. But for now, the thing that we need to pay attention to is that even though it could be something big, could be something little, procrastination gives us an insight into ourselves that we shouldn't ignore. It's something that, it could even give a hint to something deeper. Like some people have trauma.
They do.
And, we use that word a lot in modern times, but like actual trauma. Like maybe you've been through something. And so procrastination is one of the ways that you cope.
Yeah, and it can even be something like a past failure. You may have tried something and it bombed. So you're like, I don't want to do that again.
Yeah.
And so you kind of hedge moving in that direction.
Yeah. So procrastination, we want to just point out up front. It's usually more than just as simple as, oh, you're a bum.
Yeah.
So be comforted, random listener. Be comforted. But we do need to talk about why procrastination is a negative. What's the problem with it? We all have this vague sense that it's not great, but where does it hurt us?
Yeah, a lot of times with procrastination, once you start, it can feed off itself.
That's so true.
I don't do this. And you get that feeling of overwhelm because here's the deal. You're putting something off and then you're putting it off again. And a lot of times as you put it off, it kind of expands almost like the Blob, the old movie, The Blob, and all of a sudden it's a lot more stress. It's a lot more. And so then you tend to put it off more. So you just keep putting it off and it almost expands. And it's one of those things that the pressure of it becomes so huge. And then at the end, you're rushing. Okay, let me hurry. And it just, that pressure gets to you. But then what a lot of guys do is they beat themselves up in the midst of that. Oh, I put it off. Well, now I'm having to rush. If I hadn't put it off. And so you almost add this extra stress to it where you're kind of abusing yourself going, I'm such an idiot. because you procrastinated.
No, it's true, because procrastination never lasts as long as the decision.
Yeah.
Like once you make the decision, it affects stuff down the line. I think one of the greatest examples of this is college.
Yeah.
You always knew the students who got their stuff done up front and the students that put stuff on the back burner.
Yeah.
Because the people that put stuff on the back burner, maybe they procrastinated the first 3 or 4 weeks of school. There aren't that many assignments. It's mostly learning, but they weren't preparing for any of the big projects down the line. They weren't preparing for any of the big assignments. And so the decisions they made in the first month of that semester end up affecting them in month 2 and month 3 of the semester.
Yeah.
Those next 2 months are just chaos for them. And so they did very much the play now, pay later thing.
Yeah.
And that's what procrastination does to us.
It does.
It gives you those upfront rewards, but it's going to make you pay down the line.
Yeah. And what you'll do a lot of times in that is that becomes habitual.
Yeah.
And one of the negative sides of procrastination is a lot of times you don't get as much done as you could.
Or it's not as quality.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, like that, if you have a project that you've put off in school, you finally get to it, and I mean, gosh, how many of us in high school the day before, I have a science project due tomorrow. That's not going to be your best work. Yeah. No. You're rarely going to win the prize or whatever.
The blue ribbon.
But that's a serious thing in your job because if you have deadlines and you don't meet those deadlines, you could get fired. You could not get the promotion. There's things that can happen. So it really can hurt us, in a physical, financial sense that we're procrastinating. It can cause damage.
Yeah, because you don't live up to your potential in those moments. You're reaching maybe 50, 60% of what it could be if you'd taken your time with it.
Yeah.
And so it does. It hurts the quality of what you're doing and therefore your reputation. You brought this up a little bit earlier, but it also can take a toll on your mental health, just beating yourself up.
Yeah.
And then the stress and anxiety of it. We all know that feeling.
Yeah.
When something is urgent. When let's say you forgot.
Yeah.
And then it pops in your brain. You're like, oh my gosh, I have this thing due this afternoon. And like, it's almost like you're on a roller coaster and you just went over the edge because your gut drops and you're like, what do I do? You're living in that perpetual state. If procrastinating is your lifestyle, you're constantly running into that.
Yeah. And you look at, we all have the fight or flight mentality. And some people seem to thrive on that last minute. They get the cortisol in their system and they're going for it. And sometimes you have to do that. There's a reality to that.
It will occur.
Yeah.
But you don't want it to be all the time.
Yeah. And that's where if you're always in that state, that's not a good state for your body. It's not a good state for your mind. And I think eventually it will begin to hurt you mentally, physically, with your job, your performance, things like that. And a lot of times we get to where we're not seeing reality. I got time for that, like we said earlier, when you may not have time. Or maybe you got one project done on time and did a good job, but you waited till the last second. The problem is you'll start thinking, I can do that every time.
That's a good point.
And it will come back to bite you. There's no doubt.
Yeah. And the other side of it is also when you avoid something, it becomes bigger in your mind than it is in reality.
Yeah.
A lot of times you're not only underperforming when you finally do it, you're overthinking beforehand.
Yeah.
So you're stuck in this state where like budgeting, budgeting's really going to take 30 minutes, maybe an hour. But when you push it off for months, you're like, it becomes this giant monster that you have to tackle. But then once you do it, you're like, okay, it wasn't bad.
Yeah.
Same thing with that project you're avoiding. I just do it, So when you procrastinate, you keep a bunch of things in that category as this big monster that you're avoiding.
Yeah.
And it causes unnecessary stress.
Yeah. Yeah. It keeps growing on you.
So let's talk about misunderstanding procrastination. We've established it's negative. I think everybody already knew that. We just went into some of the details of why that is.
Yeah.
But there's an issue that we have with procrastination. It becomes a catch-all category for any time that we don't take action. We have this assumption. We say, if I'm not doing something that I could be doing right now,
Yeah.
I'm procrastinating. If I could be mowing the lawn in this moment and I'm not, I'm procrastinating. If I could be fixing the toilet and I'm not, I'm procrastinating. If I could be working on the business idea that I think is good and I'm not, I'm procrastinating. But this misses a very important category. Talk about that.
Yeah, what it misses is prioritizing. And we have to make sure we're not getting procrastination and prioritizing mixed up. Because prioritizing is where you're putting less important things on the back burner so you can do the important things. You know, like, okay, today's a good day to get the oil changed. But it's also a great day to spend time with my wife, my kids, because there's nothing else planned. So let me do the oil change another day. You know, and you say, well, it may not be as convenient. It may not, but which one is the better choice?
Exactly.
And I think we need to be careful as guys that we don't just assume we're always procrastinating, where a lot of times we're prioritizing. We're picking the most important thing.
Yeah.
This is better for me. This is better for my life or whatever.
Yeah.
And that's an important part of life. So it's almost a planned procrastination. You're almost like, okay, that's not that big a deal. I'm going to put that on the back burner because this is a big deal. This is the most important thing right now.
You're right. And it stems from the unhealthy expectation that I can do it all.
Yeah.
And here's the truth. Listen to this. You cannot do everything.
No.
You can't. You can't come home from work and then mow the lawn, lift weights, replace a light bulb, get an oil change, and spend quality time with your wife and kids in one evening.
Yeah.
And the fact that we think we can, not to be rude, but it's kind of self-deluded. And we need to set that to the side and begin to realize I have a limited amount of time.
Yeah.
Not everything that I want to do, not everything that's worth doing is going to fit in my schedule today. So we have to make sure that we prioritize what is most important. That's not procrastination.
Yeah. And we want to be careful that we don't let comparison come in.
That's true.
Because you'll watch some guy online who tells you, oh, I wake up at 4 a.m, I do this, I do that. Well, one, you don't even know if they're telling the truth because they're an online influencer. Two, maybe they are, but maybe they're at a different place of life than you are. Maybe they have a different job. Maybe they do everything different, or they don't have a family. They don't have this, that, or the other. So what you want to do is make sure you're being realistic. We're always pushing ourselves to grow. We're trying new things. We're doing stuff. But there's also the reality of, okay, I need to prioritize different aspects of my life. That's a good thing. You want to prioritize. It's almost like a filter. You know, when you have a filter, it kind of takes the bad out, keeps the good in. That's what it's designed to do. You want to do that with your life. When you're prioritizing, you're actually saying, okay, this thing is more important. My wife is more important than the cleanliness of my car. I could spend the whole day washing and detailing my car, and that's a good thing. You want to take care of your car, but maybe this is a better day to go on a date with your wife. And that's prioritizing, and we want to make sure that we're not beating ourselves up for actually making a good decision.
Exactly. Yeah, there's a certain element of complexity. Like, you could see it as a problem. Because it kind of is. Like, I have too many good things to do and too little time to do it.
Yeah.
Instead of saying, well, that just means I'm a lazy bum if I don't get it all done. We have to begin to say to ourselves, well, that's where reflection comes in.
Yep.
And that's why reflection is so important.
Yeah.
That's why it's good to sit down. And honestly, you could even just list out
Yeah.
all the things that you have and then prioritize them. What's the top of the list? Because the truth is, like, you can even use the heuristic of 5 years down the road.
Yeah.
What am I going to be glad I invested in?
Yeah.
It's probably going to be your wife over your car.
Yeah.
Because that car is probably not even going to be there anymore.
Yeah.
You know, so it's a reality that we have to face. And we don't want you guys to mistake perfectionism and this procrastination for prioritization. Because prioritization can be a good thing.
Yeah. And we have to look out because a lot of times today, there's this pressure to be productive all the time. You've got, 16 hours a day you're awake, let's say. Well, you got to get all this stuff done. You got to do this, you got to do that. And you think, I have to be productive with every moment of my day. But life's not all about productivity. You say, well, the guy down the street has a better yard than mine. Well, maybe he has a job where he has the freedom to do that. Or maybe he doesn't have the other responsibilities. Or maybe he pays someone to do it. You want to make sure that you're having realistic goals for yourself. But understand, your job is not to be a productive widget maker in a factory.
Yeah, you're not a machine.
Yeah, we're not machines. We're supposed to have a life. And again, I love your illustration of, 5 years down the line. Well, let's look at the end. When you're sitting at the end of your life, what are you going to be glad you did? And that doesn't mean you don't take care of your yard, you don't do the things that you're supposed to. What it means is they don't become the higher priority. That sometimes you're going to put some things off and say, okay, yeah, today would be the ideal day to cut my yard, but it can wait till tomorrow because I want to do this. It's more important. That means you're choosing the better thing. And the people in your life, the relationships, that's going to be, if you're going to make a choice between stuff and relationships, you always choose relationships.
Every time.
It's who we are. As humans, we relate to each other. We're creatures who connect. And that's what we're created to do. So we want to make sure that this productivity thing, I want to be productive. I'm a man if I'm productive. No, you want to choose the right priority because that really brings meaning to your life.
Yeah. It's the old saying, quality over quantity. A lot of times that productivity mindset can very easily stray into quantity.
Yeah.
How many things did I check off the list? How many things did I make progress in today?
Yeah.
Which sounds up front like it's good, but it completely misses the prioritization element. Yes, you can make progress in way more things if they're little tiny tasks. But the people take time.
Yeah.
People take an investment, and that's okay. So what we don't want you guys to get stuck in is in this cycle of mislabeling this prioritization as procrastination and saying, oh, well, I'm just being a bum, when really you're being a good dad.
Yeah, or even doing something important like our last episode, we talk about rest.
That's true.
We have to plan rest or our life will get taken over by other things or projects. And sometimes I think we are looking for some kind of feedback from that productivity or those achievements. Oh, my bank account has more money in it. I have a nicer car. Is that really going to make your life that much better? It's like I saw a clip recently of Jim Carrey at one award show, and he was like, oh, I won another one. Now my life has meaning.
Yeah.
And I thought, that's such a great, it really was. He was being so sarcastic, but it was true. Winning the awards isn't going to add another, bit of meaning to your life and what's really important.
We should share that on social media.
I know,
because it was great. He's like, I'm 2-time Golden Globe winner Jim Carrey.
Yeah.
One day I'll be 3-time Golden Globe winner Jim Carrey, and that'll be enough. And I can stop this maddening chase.
It's true.
But it was such a good point.
It was a great point.
Jesus said it best. He said, life does not consist in an abundance of possessions.
No.
And it's true. Like, when is enough? And so we can't focus on that quantity.
Yeah.
We've got to focus on the quality, and you got to reflect on values. That takes a lot of deep work and thinking.
It does.
But it's worth it. And we want you guys to take the first step today. So our challenge portion is, as you're going throughout this week, we want you to ask yourself this question. What times am I procrastinating? And at what times am I prioritizing? You can even say in what areas. What areas am I procrastinating? I'm doing it to my own detriment unnecessarily. And what times am I prioritizing? I'm setting things on the back burner because that's where they need to go. We have to start delineating between the two.
Yeah.
We need to start doing that.
Yeah, I think so. I think if you can get a good handle on what's real procrastination that's hurting you and what's real prioritization, then I think it helps you understand, okay, I need to work on this area. I'm really procrastinating here, but this area is fine. I'm not procrastinating. I'm prioritizing.
Yeah.
And that helps you kind of take that guilt off yourself.
Yeah, because that's a weight that a lot of times we put on ourselves that we don't even need to carry.
No, we don't.
And a lot of times nobody's putting that pressure on you. You know,
no, it's
we're
very
just
much
putting it on
self-inflicted.
ourselves.
Yep, it is. We're good at that.
And even if people put that pressure on you, it still doesn't mean you have to carry that.
Yeah.
Because the truth is, our role is to obey God and live a good life in our context, which is not always what someone else is going to think.
Yeah.
So that's our tip for you this week. And next week, we're going to be looking at some of the root causes of procrastination. We discussed them a tiny bit today, but we're going to dive in deep because the truth is, once we do that, maybe we can help solve the procrastination issue without even having to try and deal with it directly. Whenever you get down deep into those areas, you can begin to deal with the root instead of just the symptoms. So that's what we're going into next week. Spend some time reflecting this week, and we'll see you in the next episode.
Thanks for listening to the Thriving Man Podcast. If you want to check out more resources from David and Reese, you can go to thrivingman.com. We'll see you in the next episode.